Every great achievement in history began as nothing more than a dream in someone's heart. Dreams are the seeds of greatness, the silent whispers inside you that tell you there is more to life than what you see right now. When you chase your dreams, you are not just chasing goals. You are chasing the highest version of yourself, the person you were meant to become. But the truth is, dreams are never caught by those who sit still, waiting for life to deliver them. They are only caught by those who dare to rise, who dare to run toward the unknown, who dare to chase with relentless faith. Chasing dreams is not easy, and it was never meant to be. If it were simple, everyone would be living their best life right now. The path to greatness is filled with obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt that test your spirit. You will fall, you will fail, you will question yourself. But every time you rise again, every time you take another step, despite fear or exhaustion, you get closer to catching greatness. Greatness is not about perfection. It is about persistence. It belongs to those who refuse to stop no matter how hard the journey becomes. The difference between those who live ordinary lives and those who achieve extraordinary success is not talent alone. It is hunger. It is the fire inside that refuses to die even when the world tells you your dream is impossible. You see, the world will doubt you, but the real danger is when you start doubting yourself. The voice inside that says you're not good enough, not strong enough, not capable enough. That voice must be silenced with action. Because when you take action, when you keep moving forward step by step, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than the doubts, stronger than the obstacles, stronger than anything that stands in your way. Chasing dreams requires sacrifice. You cannot have greatness without giving something up. It may mean long nights while others sleep. It may mean walking alone when no one believes in you. It may mean failing 100 times before succeeding once. But remember this, every sacrifice is an investment in your future. Every struggle is building the strength you will need to hold your dream once you finally catch it. Greatness is not about reaching the top of the mountain. It is about becoming the kind of person who has the courage, discipline, and resilience to climb it. So when the path gets hard, and it will, don't stop. When people laugh at your dreams, and they might, keep moving. When fear tells you to turn back, ignore it. The dream was given to you for a reason. It is your mission, your purpose, your calling. If it lives inside your heart, then you already have what it takes to make it real. You were not born to live small, to settle, to fade into the background. You were born to shine, to create, to rise, to inspire. One day, when you look back on your life, you will not regret the risks you took chasing your dreams. You will regret the chances you didn't take. Don't let fear steal your destiny. Don't let comfort rob you of greatness. Every second is a choice, and today you get to choose whether to keep standing still or to chase with all your heart. Chasing dreams is not about waiting for the perfect time. It is about making the time you have perfect through relentless effort. It is about believing when there is no reason to believe. It is about running even when your legs are tired, pushing even when your heart is heavy, and trusting that every step is carrying you closer to something extraordinary. Greatness is not reserved for the chosen few. It is reserved for the few who choose. Choose to chase your dream. Choose to fight for it. Choose to never give up no matter how far the finish line seems. Because when you chase with all you have, when you refuse to stop, when you believe enough to keep going, greatness will not just be something you dream of. It will be something you catch, something you live, something that defines who you are. Dreams are the seeds of greatness, the invisible beginnings of everything extraordinary that has ever been achieved in this world. Every skyscraper that touches the clouds, every invention that changed the way humanity lives, every song that moved hearts, every victory that echoed through history, each of them was once nothing more than a dream inside someone's mind. A dream is the starting point, a fragile thought, often born in silence, yet powerful enough to shape reality. When you hold a dream in your heart, you hold the blueprint of what could be, a vision of the person you might become, and the life you are capable of creating. Without dreams, there is no greatness, for greatness cannot exist without first being imagined. But the beauty of dreams lies not just in imagining them, it lies in daring to nurture them. Like seeds, dreams do not flourish instantly. You cannot plant a seed today and expect to harvest tomorrow. A seed must be watered, protected, and given time to grow roots before it can rise tall and strong. In the same way, your dream requires patience, effort, and relentless care. Many people give up too soon, expecting instant results, forgetting that even the mightiest oak tree once began as something so small, so fragile, that it could have been crushed underfoot. Dreams are the same. They may feel small, uncertain, or even impossible at first, but with dedication and persistence, they can grow into something beyond your imagination. The world is filled with people who once had dreams, but let them wither away. They allowed fear, doubt, or the opinions of others to convince them that their vision was impossible. That is the tragedy of wasted potential when a seed of greatness is left uncultivated. The world never sees what it could have become. Yet, for those who dare to believe in their dream, even when no one else does, something magical happens. The seed begins to sprout, opportunities appear, and doors begin to open. The dreamer becomes the architect of their own destiny, and the greatness they imagined starts to take shape in reality. What separates those who achieve greatness from those who do not is not luck, talent, or even opportunity. It is belief. To dream is to see beyond what is visible, to trust that what exists in your heart can one day exist in the world. Belief is the sunlight that fuels the growth of your dream, the force that keeps you moving forward when everything around you seems to be pushing you back. When you believe in your dream, you are unstoppable, because belief creates persistence, and persistence creates results. The people who achieve greatness are not those who never faced obstacles, but those who refused to let the obstacles define them. Think of every story of greatness you know. Athletes who rose from poverty, inventors who failed countless times before succeeding, leaders who stood alone when no one believed. What kept them going was not that they had everything handed to them, but that they had a dream so powerful it refused to die. They understood that dreams were not fantasies. They were blueprints for the future. The Wright brothers dreamed of flying when the world said it was impossible, yet their dream gave us the gift of flight. Thomas Edison dreamed of light when darkness was the norm, and his dream lit up the world. Every breakthrough was once a seed planted in the soil of belief, nurtured through hard work, and defended against the storms of failure. Your dream, no matter how big or small, carries within it the potential for greatness. It might be to build a business, to create art, to inspire others, or to change your community. Whatever it is, it matters, because dreams are not given to you by accident. They are placed inside you as a calling, a purpose, a direction for your life. To ignore your dream is to ignore a part of who you were meant to be. To pursue it is to step into your true potential, to embrace the path that leads not only to success, but to fulfillment. But chasing dreams requires courage, for the path is rarely smooth. People will doubt you, setbacks will come, and you will question yourself many times along the way. That is the nature of the journey. Yet every difficulty is a test to see how much you want it, how willing you are to protect and fight for your dream. Each challenge strengthens you, just as storms strengthen the roots of a tree. If you endure, if you refuse to give up, your dream will grow stronger, and you will grow stronger with it. Greatness is not a sudden event. It is the slow, steady result of chasing your dream day after day. It is the reward of sacrifice, the outcome of resilience, the triumph of faith. Those who achieve it are not different from you. They are simply people who decided to keep going when it was easier to stop. People who treated their dreams as sacred, refusing to let them die. You, too, have that power. Inside you is a seed of greatness waiting to grow, waiting for you to believe, waiting for you to act. So do not dismiss your dreams as fantasies. Do not bury them beneath fear or let them wither under doubt. Hold them close, nurture them, fight for them, and let them guide your steps. One day, when you look back, you will see that your dream was never just about reaching a goal. It was about becoming the person you were always meant to be. And in that moment, you will realize the truth. Dreams are not just seeds of greatness. They are greatness itself, waiting to be awakened inside you. Greatness demands persistence, not perfection. Too often people believe they must have everything figured out, that they must move flawlessly toward their goals, that every step must be free of mistakes. But perfection is an illusion, a trap that paralyzes dreamers and keeps them from ever beginning. The truth is, no one who ever achieved greatness lived a perfect journey. They stumbled, they failed, they doubted themselves, and yet they kept going. Persistence is the real key, the steady, unshakable determination to keep moving forward despite setbacks, to rise after every fall, to refuse to let failure define the outcome. When you look at the lives of those who achieved extraordinary success, you will not find a story of smooth, perfect progress. You will find obstacles, rejection, and countless wrong turns. Thomas Edison was told he failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Imagine if he had been chasing perfection. He would have stopped after the first mistake, too afraid to keep going. Instead, he persisted. Every failure was not the end, but a step closer to success. That is the power of persistence. It transforms a failure into feedback and struggle into strength. Perfection is rooted in fear, the fear of making mistakes, of looking foolish, of not being enough. It keeps people waiting for the right time, the perfect plan, the guaranteed path. But that time never comes. Waiting for perfection is the same as waiting forever. Persistence, on the other hand, is rooted in courage. It says, I may not know everything, but I will begin. I may not have all the answers, but I will keep searching. I may fall, but I will rise again. That attitude builds resilience, and resilience is what separates those who merely wish for greatness from those who achieve it. Greatness does not ask you to be flawless. It asks you to be relentless. It asks you to show up on the days you don't feel like it, to keep practicing when no one is watching, to push forward when the results are slow, and to keep believing even when doubt whispers louder than hope. Every step taken in persistence builds momentum. Small actions, repeated over time, create unstoppable progress. While perfection focuses on getting everything right in one attempt, persistence understands that greatness is built brick by brick, day after day, mistake after mistake, lesson after lesson. Think about the process of learning to walk as a child. No baby takes perfect steps on the first try. They wobble, they fall, they cry, and then they get up again. Step by step, fall by fall, they persist until walking becomes second nature. That is the same principle that governs greatness. If you wait to be perfect, you never begin. If you persist, you eventually master what once seemed impossible. The world often glorifies perfection, showing us the polished results of success stories without revealing the messy process behind them. But behind every gold medal is an athlete who spent years training, failing, and trying again. Behind every masterpiece is an artist who tore up countless drafts before finding the right stroke of genius. Behind every thriving business is an entrepreneur who risked everything, failed repeatedly, and kept fighting through uncertainty. The final product may look flawless, but the road that built it was paved with persistence, not perfection. Persistence is also what builds character. Each time you refuse to quit, you strengthen not just your skills, but your spirit. You learn patience, discipline, humility, and resilience. You begin to see failure not as proof that you are weak, but as evidence that you are trying, stretching, and growing. And with every comeback, you discover that you are stronger than you ever realized. Perfection does not teach you these lessons, because perfection never allows you to try. Persistence, however, demands that you face challenges head on, and in doing so, it shapes you into the person capable of holding greatness. Another truth is that persistence inspires others in ways perfection never can. People cannot relate to perfection. It feels distant, untouchable, unreal. But persistence is human. When others see you struggle, fall, and rise again, they see themselves in you. They realize that if you can keep going despite your challenges, so can they. Your persistence becomes a light, a reminder that greatness is not reserved for the flawless, but for the faithful, for those who refuse to surrender. In moments of struggle, when everything seems against you, persistence is the voice that says, just one more step. It is the strength to endure the storm knowing the sun will shine again. It is the discipline to keep moving forward, even if progress is slow, even if no one notices, even if success feels far away. Those small steps compound into greatness. History is filled with people who succeeded not because they were the most talented, but because they were the most persistent. They simply refused to give up. So let go of the illusion of perfection. Stop waiting for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity. None of these things exist. What exists is this moment, this step, this choice to keep going no matter what. Every time you persist, you build a bridge toward your dream. Every time you rise after falling, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. Every time you endure, you step closer to greatness. Greatness is not about being perfect. It is about being unstoppable. It is about falling 100 times and standing up 101. It is about having the courage to keep moving forward, even when your journey is messy, imperfect, and uncertain. Because in the end, it is not perfection that changes the world. It is persistence. It is persistence that turns dreams into reality. Persistence that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. And persistence that defines greatness itself. Hunger separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Talent may open doors, opportunity may provide a path. But hunger, the relentless drive to achieve, to push beyond limits, to keep going no matter what, determines who rises above and who remains average. Hunger is not about physical need, it is the fire in your spirit, the burning desire that refuses to let you settle for mediocrity. It is the difference between someone who wishes and someone who works, between those who dream of success and those who are willing to pay the price for it. Ordinary people often stop when things become uncomfortable. They set goals, but abandon them when the struggle feels overwhelming. They choose the easy road because it feels safe, because it doesn't demand too much sacrifice. But extraordinary people live differently. They are fueled by hunger, a passion so strong it will not let them quit. They embrace discomfort because they know it shapes them. They endure the sleepless nights, the failures, and the criticism because their hunger is greater than their pain. While ordinary minds say, I can't, the hungry heart says, I must. A hunger cannot be faked. You can't pretend to want something deeply and expect extraordinary results. True hunger shows in the way you show up every single day, even when no one is watching. It shows in the way you sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term greatness. Hunger is what gets you out of bed before the sun rises. Hunger is what keeps you practicing when others have gone home. Hunger is what pushes you to try one more time when failure has knocked you down again and again. Hunger whispers, keep going. Even when your body is tired and your mind is weary, the extraordinary are not necessarily more gifted than others. Many times, they begin with less talent, fewer resources, and greater challenges. But their hunger to succeed makes up for every disadvantage. History is full of examples, athletes who weren't the fastest or strongest, but trained harder than anyone else until they surpassed their competition. Leaders who rose from poverty because their hunger for change was stronger than their circumstances. Inventors who lacked resources, but refused to stop until their vision became reality. Hunger is the great equalizer. It levels the playing field, turning impossible odds into incredible victories. Ordinary people are satisfied with good enough, but extraordinary people are never satisfied until they've given everything. Hunger doesn't let them accept mediocrity. It drives them to demand more from themselves, to raise their standards, to chase goals that others consider impossible. Hunger keeps them alive with purpose, focused on the mission, unwilling to let fear, doubt, or comfort steal their destiny. This is why hunger is more powerful than talent. Talent without hunger fades away when challenged. Hunger without talent eventually creates talent, because relentless practice and effort sharpen ability over time. Hunger also defines character. It teaches resilience, discipline, and humility. When you are hungry for your dream, You stop making excuses and start taking responsibility. You stop blaming circumstances and start creating opportunities. You stop waiting for the right time and start acting now. Hunger doesn't allow you to waste time or energy. It directs every ounce of your being toward progress. And in that process, you grow into someone extraordinary, not because life made it easy, but because your hunger made you unstoppable. The truth is, life will always test how hungry you are. There will be obstacles, rejections, and moments when giving up feels easier. Those are the moments that reveal who you really are. Ordinary people quit when the storm comes. Extraordinary people use the storm to sharpen their strength. Ordinary people run when fear shows up. Extraordinary people face fear head on because their hunger is greater than their fear. Life rewards the hungry, not because they are lucky, but because they refuse to stop until they earn what they seek. Ask yourself, what are you hungry for? Is it success, freedom, impact, growth, or legacy? Whatever it is, let that hunger consume you. Let it guide your decisions, fuel your actions, and shape your destiny. Hunger is not about greed, it is about purpose. It is about refusing to let life pass by without giving it everything you've got. Hunger keeps your vision alive when distractions try to pull you away. Hunger keeps your faith strong when doubt creeps in. Hunger makes you stand tall even after countless failures because you know that quitting is not an option. Extraordinary people are not extraordinary by chance. They are ordinary individuals who made a choice to never stop feeding their hunger. They refused to let their dreams die. They worked when others rested. They sacrificed when others indulged. They pushed forward when others gave up. That hunger transformed them from ordinary to extraordinary. And the same is true for you. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to have everything figured out. But you must be hungry. Hunger will take you further than talent, further than opportunity, further than luck. Hunger will carry you through every obstacle until you break through. If you want to live an extraordinary life, you must ignite that hunger within you. Let it burn so fiercely that it consumes every excuse, every fear, and every limitation. Let it drive you to places you never imagined you could go. Hunger is the secret that turns impossible dreams into living realities. And when you look back one day, you will realize that what made the difference was not that you were the most talented or the most privileged, but that you were the most hungry, because hunger will always separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. Sacrifice is the price of catching dreams. Every great achievement, every remarkable story of success, every extraordinary breakthrough has been purchased with sacrifice. Dreams are beautiful, inspiring, and powerful, but they are not free. They demand something from you, your time, your energy, your comfort, and often the things you hold closest. To chase a dream is to make a choice, the choice to give up what is easy so you can pursue what is meaningful, the choice to let go of temporary pleasures for permanent fulfillment. Without sacrifice, dreams remain only fantasies, but with sacrifice, they transform into reality. The truth that many people shy away from is that sacrifice hurts. It is not comfortable to give up sleep while others are resting, to invest long hours of effort when others are relaxing, to deny yourself distractions while others indulge. Yet this is the very essence of the journey. Ordinary people stop when sacrifice feels too heavy, but those who catch their dreams understand that the price is always worth paying. Sacrifice is the filter that separates the committed from the casual, the devoted from the distracted, the dreamers who only wish from the dreamers who achieve. Greatness requires letting go of comfort. Comfort is the enemy of progress because it convinces you to stay where you are instead of striving for more. If you want to build something extraordinary, you must be willing to walk away from what is convenient and step into what is demanding. This may mean sacrificing your evenings to study, sacrificing leisure time to train, sacrificing friendships that hold you back, or sacrificing habits that drain your energy. Each sacrifice feels like a loss in the moment, but in reality, it is an investment into the future. Every hour you dedicate, every distraction you eliminate, every temptation you resist is a seed planted in the soil of success. Sacrifice is also a test of how much you truly want your dream. Anyone can say they want success, but not everyone is willing to pay the price. Words are easy, action is costly. Your willingness to sacrifice reveals the depth of your desire. If you are not willing to give up something, it means you do not want it badly enough. The extraordinary achievers of this world do not complain about sacrifice. They embrace it because they understand it is the bridge between where they are and where they want to be. Think about the stories of champions, innovators, and leaders. Athletes give up normal teenage lives to dedicate themselves to endless training. Entrepreneurs sacrifice financial security and risk everything to pursue a vision. Artists sacrifice years of rejection and obscurity before the world finally recognizes their talent. Parents sacrifice their own comfort to provide a better life for their children. In every case, the dream demanded sacrifice, and greatness was only achieved by those who were willing to pay that price. Sacrifice also strengthens you. Every time you give something up for your dream, you train your mind and spirit to stay focused, disciplined, and resilient. It teaches you the value of hard work and the meaning of patience. Sacrifice forces you to prioritize what truly matters, stripping away the unnecessary and sharpening your determination. What feels like loss in the beginning becomes the foundation of strength later. The sleepless nights, the lonely hours, the difficult choices, they shape you into someone capable of carrying the weight of success once it arrives. Without that preparation, you would not be able to handle the very dream you desire. But here is the beauty of sacrifice. While it costs you something now, it gives you back far more in the future. The hours you sacrifice today give you opportunities tomorrow. The relationships you sacrifice with those who don't believe in you make space for people who inspire and uplift you. The comforts you sacrifice now turn into the strength, wisdom, and fulfillment of achieving something extraordinary later. Sacrifice is not a loss. It is an exchange. You give up something lesser to gain something greater. Still, many resist sacrifice because it feels painful in the present. They see what they must let go of, but they fail to see what they will gain. The key is vision. When your dream burns so brightly within you, when you see it clearly enough, sacrifice becomes less of a burden and more of an honor. You stop focusing on what you are losing and start focusing on what you are building. And in those moments, sacrifice transforms into fuel, pushing you forward with purpose and strength. There will be days when sacrifice feels unbearable. You will question whether it is worth it. You will wonder if the dream is really meant for you. In those moments, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself of the vision that pulled you forward in the first place. Remind yourself that the pain of sacrifice is temporary, but the reward of catching your dream is permanent. The hours of struggle will pass, but the greatness you build will last. In the end, sacrifice is not just about catching dreams. It is about who you become in the process. The person who begins the journey is not the same as the one who finishes it. Sacrifice molds you, shapes you, and prepares you to hold the very success you once only imagined. Dreams without sacrifice fade away, but dreams fueled by sacrifice turn into legacies. So when you face the choice between comfort and commitment, between ease and effort, between distraction and discipline, remember this: sacrifice is not your enemy. It is your ally. It is the price you pay, but it is also the proof that you are serious about your dream. Pay the price, embrace the sacrifice, and one day you will stand in the reality of what once lived only in your imagination. And in that moment, you will know it was worth it, because sacrifice was never a punishment. It was the path to greatness. Fear and doubt are dream killers. They are the silent enemies that creep into your mind and heart, whispering that you are not enough, that you are not ready, that you should give up before you even begin. They disguise themselves as reason, as logic, as caution. But in truth, they are prisons. Fear chains you to the ground when your dreams are calling you to fly. Doubt convinces you that failure is certain when success is within your reach. More dreams have died in the minds of people than in the reality of the world. Not because the dream was impossible, but because fear and doubt convinced someone never to try. Fear feeds on the unknown. It grows when you face uncertainty, when you cannot see the full path ahead. It tells you that the risk is too great, that the pain will be unbearable, that the outcome will never be worth it. Doubt, on the other hand, attacks your confidence. It makes you question your abilities, your worth, your vision. Together, they form a deadly combination, a barrier stronger than any obstacle in the outside world. The truth is, no challenge outside of you is as powerful as the fear and doubt inside of you. They can kill your dream before you even take the first step. But here is the reality: fear and doubt only have the power you give them. They are not facts, they are feelings. They are not truths, they are stories your mind tells you. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who settle for less is not that the successful never felt fear or doubt. It is that they move forward anyway. Every great leader, every champion, every innovator felt fear. They felt doubt. They questioned themselves. But they did not allow those feelings to control their actions. They learned that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it. Fear and doubt thrive in inaction. The longer you wait, the louder they grow. The longer you hesitate, the more power they gain. That is why action is the antidote. When you take even the smallest step toward your dream, you weaken fear's grip and silence doubt's voice. Progress, no matter how small, builds confidence. Each step forward proves that the disaster you imagine does not exist, that the limits you thought were real can be broken. Momentum destroys fear. Movement crushes doubt. Many people allow fear of failure to hold them back, but failure is not the true enemy. Failure is a teacher, a guide, a stepping stone to growth. Fear of failure is the enemy because it convinces you to never even try. Doubt tells you that failing means you are not good enough, when in truth failing means you are learning. Every person who ever achieved greatness has failed more times than they can count. The difference is they did not let fear and doubt convince them to stop. They understood that failure was not the end of their dream, but part of the journey toward it. Another way fear and doubt kill dreams is by keeping you trapped in comparison. You look at others who seem more talented, more successful, more gifted, and you tell yourself you could never measure up. But comparison is a lie. It blinds you to your own potential, making you forget that no one else has your exact story, your exact gifts, your exact vision. Fear and doubt will always magnify your weaknesses and minimize your strengths, but the extraordinary achievers learn to flip the script. They focus on their unique abilities, their unique mission, and they use that as fuel to keep going. Fear also disguises itself as practicality. It tells you to play it safe, to stay comfortable, to choose the path of least resistance. It pretends to protect you, but in truth, it robs you. It robs you of growth, of opportunity, of fulfillment. Doubt pretends to be humility, making you think it is better not to try than to risk embarrassment. But the real embarrassment comes years later, when you realize you let fear and doubt steal your chance at the life you could have lived. The pain of failure is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. To defeat fear and doubt, you must learn to master your mind. You must recognize their voices and refuse to let them dictate your choices. Replace doubt with belief. Replace fear with faith. Surround yourself with people who fuel your courage instead of feeding your fears. Fill your mind with stories of those who overcame, reminding yourself that you are no different from them. And most importantly, take action daily. Each time you move forward despite fear, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts, braver than your fears, and closer to your dreams. Greatness does not belong to those who feel no fear or doubt. It belongs to those who feel both deeply and still step forward. It belongs to those who stand on the edge of uncertainty and jump anyway. It belongs to those who look fear in the eye and say, "You will not control me." Dreams require courage, and courage is built by facing fear and doubt head on. When you look back on your life, you will not remember the fears that once haunted you or the doubts that once paralyzed you. You will remember the moments you acted anyway. You will remember the victories that came because you chose persistence over hesitation. You will remember the pride of knowing you conquered the greatest enemies of your destiny. Fear and doubt may whisper in your ear for the rest of your life, but you decide whether they remain dream killers or simply background noise. The truth is simple. Fear and doubt cannot kill your dream unless you allow them to. They have no real power over you. The power lies in your hands, in your decisions, in your actions. Your dream is waiting. Your greatness is possible. But you must choose to rise above the voices of fear and doubt. Because once you silence them with action, nothing can stop you from living the life you were born to create. Greatness is a choice, not a gift. Too often people look at those who have achieved incredible things and believe they were born with something special that set them apart. They assume greatness is reserved for the chosen few, for those blessed with talent, luck, or extraordinary circumstances. But the truth is, greatness is not handed out like a gift. It is not something you inherit or stumble upon. Greatness is built, earned, and chosen every single day. It is the result of decisions. Decisions to work when others rest, to rise when others quit, to believe when others doubt. When you understand that greatness is a choice, everything changes. It means you are not a victim of your circumstances, your past, or your limitations. It means you have the power to create a future beyond what you see right now. Every person has the seed of greatness within them, but only those who choose to nurture it, water it, and fight for it will ever see it grow. The difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary is not destiny, it is decision. One person chooses comfort, another chooses challenge. One person chooses excuses, another chooses action. One person chooses to stop, another chooses to keep going. Those choices add up, and over time, they determine who rises and who remains the same. Greatness demands responsibility. It is easy to wish for success, to envy others who have achieved it, but wishing is not choosing. A choice requires commitment, and commitment requires sacrifice. When you choose greatness, you are also choosing to let go of excuses, distractions, and mediocrity. You are choosing to give up the habits that keep you small and adopt the discipline that pulls you higher. This is why many people never achieve greatness. They want the reward without making the choice. They want the glory without the grind. But greatness never works that way. You cannot receive what you have not chosen to earn. Think of the people who have changed the world. They were not handed greatness on a silver platter. They made a choice. Martin Luther King Jr. chose to stand for justice despite the danger. Nelson Mandela chose forgiveness over revenge. Serena Williams chose to train harder than anyone else. Elon Musk chose to risk everything to build his vision. These people were not simply gifted with greatness. They built it with the power of choice. And the same power is in your hands. What makes the choice difficult is that greatness is rarely the easy road. Choosing greatness means you will face resistance, criticism, and failure. It means walking a path that others may not understand, a path that requires you to stand alone at times. But this is what makes the choice so meaningful. If greatness were easy, it would not be great. If it required no effort, no sacrifice, no courage, everyone would have it. The very struggle of choosing greatness is what gives it value. Every day presents you with choices. You choose whether to press snooze or rise early to work on your dream. You choose whether to waste hours on distractions or invest them into growth. You choose whether to listen to fear or to move forward in faith. Every small choice compounds into larger results, shaping the trajectory of your life. Greatness is not a single decision you make once. It is 1,000 small choices made consistently, all pointing toward the life you want to build. The idea that greatness is a gift is dangerous because it convinces people to wait. They wait for opportunities to fall from the sky, for luck to intervene, for the perfect moment to arrive. But waiting is the enemy of destiny. Those who achieve greatness do not wait, they create. They do not sit back hoping for the right time. They choose to make this time right. They do not hope for fewer challenges. They choose to face the ones in front of them. That is the mindset of greatness, not passive, but proactive. Even failure becomes different when you understand greatness is a choice. When you see greatness as a gift, failure feels like proof that you were not chosen. that you are not special enough. But when you see greatness as a choice, failure is simply feedback. It is part of the process. It does not mean you are unworthy. It means you are learning. And as long as you keep choosing to rise after every fall, you are still on the path to greatness. This truth is both empowering and challenging. It is empowering because it means you do not need permission, privilege, or perfect conditions to rise. You just need to choose. It is challenging because it removes excuses. You cannot blame fate, circumstances, or other people. If greatness is a choice, then it is on you. The question becomes, how badly do you want it? And are you willing to keep choosing it even when it hurts, even when it's lonely, even when it feels impossible? Greatness is not about luck. It is about waking up each morning and deciding to give your best, to grow, to push forward, to take one more step. It is about choosing to live with purpose rather than settling for comfort. It is about choosing faith over fear, resilience over defeat, discipline over distraction. And when those choices stack up over time, they create a life that others will look at and call great. But you will know the truth. It was not a gift handed to you. It was a choice you made over and over again. So never wait for greatness to come to you. Never sit back hoping you were born with enough talent, luck, or connections. Look in the mirror and understand this greatness has always been in your hands. It is not something you wait for. It is something you choose. Choose it with your actions. Choose it with your persistence. Choose it with your sacrifices. And when you do, one day you will look back and see that greatness was never a mystery. It was a decision you made and a destiny you built.